So evening yogis, just start where you want to, seated or lying down, whatever feels right for you today. And whatever day or week you've been having, if it's been a busy one, physically and mentally, this is the time. You can look forward to this where we just sort of calm down, zone inwards, clear the head like that settling snow globe, and just sort of come back to ourselves, which is what yoga's all about. So let's just have a few moments where we kind of arrive in the space, arrive in the essence of the four corners of your mat and how that feels for you. Close your eyes if you haven't already. And let's just focus on the breath. Let's breathe in, out, and in, and out. And just enjoying the feeling and the mechanics of your breath. How it feels around your ribs to move, the gentle movement in your shoulders. And however you're feeling, I love to use affirmations. Just think to yourself that all is well, and you are always well. What we tell our subconscious is so powerful. If we are feeling a bit out of balance, just by bringing a statement that is in the present tense, but assuming it's already happened, is really powerful. I am healed. I am peaceful. And it's that time where we can reflect on what we want to achieve in our life, what goals we have. A place where we can observe our desires. Tune into our sacral area, which is linked with that. So we'll come up into meditation in a sec. If you're lying down, you can roll up. If you're already seated, that's fine. Just take a few moments to have a wriggle if you want to put a blanket around your shoulders and get comfortable. I quite sometimes like to just put something across my lap to rest the hands on as well. Feels quite grounding to have cloth over you. So I think this evening, because of the nature of maybe how your weeks have been, we'll just have quiet silence. Follow the breath as always. Let the mind meander off. And I'll guide you every now and then back to the gap between our thoughts, where we're thinking about being in the gap and we're thinking about the breath, but we haven't been taken off by a thought that's just whipped our mind away. So let's take about 5 minutes and we'll ground through our tailbone, we'll relax through our body. And just gently as we start here, following the breath, we're in the gap between our thoughts. Looking ahead into the forehead, it might look like a big grey void, just being in this space. Noticing if your thoughts are coming in, just come back to the gap. Notice where your thoughts are. Just come back into the breath and the gap. Following your breath. When you're ready, just take another breath and we'll come back. On purpose, I just let that run over another couple of minutes. So that was about 7 minutes that we sat with that. Notice if that felt quite different to the normally it's just about 5 minutes. That 2 minutes extra can sometimes be quite powerful. You're sort of almost dropping down into sort of deeper layers of consciousness. You might have noticed that you could have sat there actually even longer. So just observe how that felt for you this evening. So just popping your bits aside. We're going to come into turtle. So a nice, kind of a nice forward fold that feels lovely and cosy and safe. And if you want like a pillow or you need anything behind your knees for the compression, you might want a little block to rest the head on. So it's like child's pose basically. And just begin where you're comfortable. You might find that you can move your props aside as you progress into this. If at any time you need to come out of this pose, it is too compressive, it doesn't feel right, then please do. You can always just come into neutral. But let's just see how this feels today. Sometimes it feels quite nice to just curl up. Let everything start to stretch a little through our back. Notice what tension you're holding in your arms and all the muscles in the upper back, shoulders. Around your neck as well. How tight is your tummy and the abdominal muscles? How does this feel emotionally for you? It's a real rooting pose. Good for your stomach meridian. How does it feel to breathe? Shallow breaths or deep breaths? And we'll just take one more breath here. Just bring the hands either side the head as you lift up, just so it doesn't kind of cause any sudden dizziness. So that was about 3 minutes. Quite a strong pose for our first one. So coming back. And just notice as you kind of uncurl yourself and let everything extend, how do you feel? That sort of freedom through your body. Relax. Notice how it feels through your spine and lower back. Just gradually letting everything soften. It might take a moment. And then perhaps feeling a nice tingly coldness on the tops of your feet, the shins, the outside of the shins. A lovely pulsing through the calf muscles and thighs, where fluids and chi are now moving. Taking a few deep breaths here. Notice if you're still slightly tense in your body. Can you relax the back? Perhaps the tingling's just starting to fade away as well now. And then we'll just gently hug in. We're going to come into twisted deer next. So this is when if you want to grab your bolster, have a little rock first. Enjoy a nice little massage on the back. And then gently rolling up. I've got my bolster to the right hand side, so we'll start this way. So just pulling it close. Bring the right shin to your front, and then your left leg just sort of swings round to the side, drawing that bolster into the right hip. And then just belly comes down to face bolster, and just whatever twist feels nice for you today. Nice deep breath. Lovely sigh on the exhale. We can settle into this pose. The lovely supported twist. So as we start just to find this shape, looking for what you can relax. From your feet all the way up to your legs and hips. Trying to relax in the sides of your waist if there's still a little bit of tension there. Shoulders, arms. Maybe close your eyes and really try and let go through your neck. The bolster supports your head, but often we still hold a bit of tension in the neck. Keep checking through your lower back and waist, buttocks. And then when you can just try and loosen your face, your cheeks and jaw. And then enjoying the breath as you breathe against the bolster. You can feel different parts of the body lift and then contract. Again, just be aware of where your mind is. How you feel in this twist. And if your mind does start wandering off, just come back to your breath. Just take one last kind of scan through your body, noticing where you feel good and relaxed. And then we'll just take a breath. And then gently coming into neutral. Enjoy as you come out of this, sort of how it feels to lift up, how it feels just to rotate onto the mat, what you're starting to feel already, how it feels to lie down, and just placing your limbs on the mat, that whole kind of journey, and then relaxing. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? Perhaps there's a nice sort of tingle along the side of your face where you were connected to the bolster. Where do you notice it around your waist? Perhaps sensation on the right thigh and hip. Keep relaxing. And just follow your breath, even while we're here, just the rise and fall of the tummy and chest. And then we'll come into the other side. Bring your knees in. Enjoy a nice rock. And then when you're ready, join me coming upright and we'll come into the other side. So just bringing that bolster over to your left. And left shin to the front, right leg to the side, bolster into the hip, and then gently just coming down. It might feel a little bit different this side. Sometimes the way we twist, our body feels it a bit different, but you can just explore. Rest your hands and face wherever you want to. Have a moment just to have a fidget if you need to as well. Close your eyes, settle. I find this pose really, it's quite gentle, but you really do feel the effects of it afterwards. Lovely for, as I say, this is a lovely one for your solar plexus. Confidence and immune system. As you breathe, you might really be able to hone into the back right rib. Keep trying to relax your face and your neck. Noticing any tension in your arms, shoulders. Does your body like this pose in this moment now? And are your thoughts thinking you? Or are you thinking your thoughts? Even in your pose, you can just observe whether you're in that gap between thoughts, like we were in meditation. And just let's take 2 more conscious breaths. Really feeling where the breath moves in this twist. And then you can just take your time. Gradually lifting up, coming out, enjoying the whole movement even as you move out of the pose. Just being completely body conscious through this whole hour together. Noticing what you like, what you don't like. And relax. Just gazing with your eyes closed between the brows into the third eye. As you do this, you might notice that it feels quite possibly tingly on your forehead. Maybe some colours start to fill your mind. Tuning into your intuition, that sixth sense that we all have, that starts to get stronger and open up the more we quieten our mind and tune inwardly. Where we connect with the infinite intelligence that's around us. So when you're ready, let's draw the knees in, have a nice little hug to yourself. Bit of self-love. And then we're going to come up for cocoon. So coming into Nice seated position, legs stretched out. And then we'll start with the right leg out and the left leg into the top of the right thigh. And just gently we're going to fold forward. Just bringing the head down. Nice deep breath, and then just starting to settle into this pose. Let your leg rotate outwards. Try and relax around the calf and the knee. Everything passive. If you need support under your left thigh, then just a little cushion will help. Or if you need something under your right knee as well that feels supportive. Just checking in with what you might need tonight. Keep relaxing. Wherever you find real tension, just try and allow the mind to let it go. Just drawing your awareness to your breath in the belly. Relaxing shoulders and neck. Head becomes heavier. How do you feel in this pose tonight? Nice deep breaths. Feel the breath in the whole back of your body. Notice whether you're really enjoying breathing and being so conscious of it. Letting go of your facial muscles and neck a little bit more. And just noticing what you're feeling through the back of your right leg. Whether the stretch feels really quite lovely. Really good for your urinary bladder channel. So we'll take a lovely deep breath. And gently coming up. Even as you lift your head, just do it nice and slowly so we don't get dizziness, and then coming back down. Rolling out your spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way down to the mat. Feels good. It feels lovely to sort of stretch out the belly and the chest. So checking in, what do you feel? Right leg to left leg, where you're feeling a little bit of buzzing going on. Sole of the foot, how do they feel? Is there a difference? And then we'll come into the other side. Let's just hug in. And just take your time. I'm having to still be a little bit gentle with this twinge, so I can't roll up as quickly as I normally do. Okay, left leg extended, right foot into the top of the thigh. And we'll just explore, having that kind of curiosity. Is it going to feel the same? Does it already feel a little bit different before we come into the pose? And a lovely deep breath in, and we can just soften. Folding forwards. So this pose is also quite lovely for your gallbladder channel. If you're feeling any sensation around the hip and the outer side of the body, this targets our gallbladder. So checking where you've got some tension and just gradually allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to release. How does this stretch feel tonight? Sometimes it's lovely to be quite deep into a stretch, and other times just sort of gently on the edge of it. Always observe satya, truth, and ahimsa, non-violence, to the body. Relaxing your calf muscle and behind your knee. Breathing to the belly, noticing where the breath moves throughout your body. Softening shoulders, head and neck. Just noticing if you're quite present in this moment. How relaxed are your fingers and the palm of your hand? Is there any tightness around your forehead and your ears? Is there any more room for a bit more of a stretch? And then we'll just gently take a couple of breaths. Really feeling this sensation and gently coming out. Again, all the poses today have been with the head down, so just notice as we bring it up. And coming back. And how will this neutral pose feel? Always different. So just noticing any chi movement. And enjoying this openness to breathe quite deeply now. On every exhale, you can just sort of relax the spine a little bit more. Just tuning in, totally aware of everything you feel. And then we'll bring the knees in again. We're going to come into puppy, melting heart. Again, another pose where the head is down. So all poses this evening have been with the head rocking forwards or low. Notice how that feels. So just gently coming up onto knees. And I think I'm going to use a little cushion today for under the belly. Just feels nice and supportive. This is going to stimulate your arms as well, so lung, heart and small and large intestine. So coming into this nice stretch. If this aggravates your shoulders, I know some of you got issues, just be really gentle or don't come down so far. Use a nice kind of, you can have a bolster under your chest so that you haven't got so much pressure in the shoulder joints. So just see how it feels. If you need to come out of it after a minute or so, that's fine as well. A lot of energy can get locked in hips and shoulder joints. This is quite lovely because you can feel your shoulder blades sort of pushing together toward your spine. Chest lowering down. Relax your calf muscles. You might find that you're tensing your tops of your feet and the calf muscles. Just let go. Nice deep breaths. Try and relax the upper arms as well. They don't have to be parallel. You can just slide the elbows out a little bit if you need to. Try and relax around your shoulders. Let that chest sink down. And as you move, you just may need to move your forehead a little. Notice if your tummy is tight, the abdominal muscles. See if you can just breathe quite deeply here and release. Gentle curve to your lumbar spine. Notice if your arms are tense. Keep relaxing into the shoulders. Lovely one for your heart centre. If we're feeling a little bit blocked there ever. Although the heart centre has two openings where we allow love and compassion in, but also that ability to give out love and compassion. Sometimes the flow has more one way than the other. And that can kind of cause an imbalance sometimes when we're giving and we're not allowing ourselves to receive. Keep relaxing your thighs, calf muscles. And then we'll take a lovely breath. Lifting the head slowly and just gradually walking the hands back towards the body. Noticing how it feels through the lower back. We've taken the spine forwards, backwards and in a twist this evening. So let's just relax back now. Have a moment in neutral. Really, perhaps you can really notice it through the muscles in your back now. Shoulders perhaps. Sometimes we get into these poses and we really don't realise that we've needed that particular position to kind of relieve something or shift something. The body can hold so much. The cellular memory that we can hold is immense. How does it feel to breathe now that we've been in that puppy pose? How does it feel through the chest and lungs? Relaxing the back. And so now if you just want to choose where you want to relax to, whether you want to stay lying down, or if you want to come to seated, entirely up to you. Have a moment. And then as you come up, get yourself cozy and warm. Found a nice piece of writing that I'm just going to read you, which I thought was quite lovely. So just get comfortable. Popping on your warm bits. So this is called The Man with the Funny Yoga Mat. Once a man came to my yoga class. The first day he walked up to me and said, "I need exercise. Will I get that here?" "Yes," I said. "Yoga is exercise." He was blunt and direct and walked away. I watched him spread out his yoga mat, but I could see that the mat wouldn't lie flat. The edges were curled up. The next week he came to me and said, "I'm sleeping better, but I don't want to give up ice cream." "That's fine," I said. He walked away and I watched him spread out his yoga mat. The edges were still curled up, but I could see that his mat was trying to lie flat. The next week he came, but he was quiet. He only spoke to me after class. "What is this anyway?" "What is what?" I asked. "Yoga." "It's what you want it to be," I said. He was puzzled but curious, and I watched him walk out the door, yoga mat under his arm. The next week he came and said, "I'm losing some of this." And he shook his belly a bit. And I laughed for the first time. "That's good," I said. He spread out his yoga mat, and I could see that the edges were starting to lie flat. On the last day of class, he came up to me with a soft face. "There was a beautiful sunset last night. Did you see it?" "Yes," I said, "I saw it." And he walked away to a quiet corner of the classroom, and he spread out his yoga mat, and the edges were flat, and his yoga mat lie flat. Yoga is our natural state. We just have to rediscover it. We had it as children. We lost it as we grew up and took on the world. A lovely little story about how yoga very gradually shapes and shifts and changes you. In fact, actually, you just rediscover your true self. Just have a few moments to think about that and perhaps your yoga journey. So just perhaps thinking now about when you first started yoga. Now it was perhaps daunting and strange and the mind was very busy. But after all this time, you can just easily sink into your practice and welcome the stillness. It's a sanctuary for yourself. So when you're ready, just take a few breaths, even before you open your eyes or move. Feeling the breath move the body. That mind-body connection. And then you can start to just gently move fingers and toes. Maybe rock the head. Just take a nice moment to reflect on how you're feeling. And affirm a good night's sleep, deep rest, deep restoration. Feeling quite vital and alert tomorrow. Often the last thought we have before bed is what the brain processes all night. So if we can feed our subconscious something very positive and beneficial, then we can use the night time for purpose. So gently when you're ready, join me in a seated position. Have a moment to rock and stretch, whatever feels good. And like that little story I read you, perhaps you do notice the sun sets a little bit more and they hit a deeper nerve with you. That journey inward. So, when you're ready, drawing hands to heart, that union at heart, Om Shanti, Namaste.